That is the first official single by Johnny Weir. It's called Dirty Love, and it's really good. Thank God. You know, when the publicist sent it over, I thought, oh, Christ. Here we go. Another celebrity who thinks they can sing. Put it on, and boy, did I eat my words. It's really, really good. And I'm talking about you like you're not in the room.
I'm barely in the room.
Johnny Weir with me here on Sirius XM OutQ. I'm Larry Flick. That track is cute.
Thank you.
I didn't know you could sing.
Well, I didn't know I could sing either. It was just, it was really just a project for fun. I had 2 days off in LA in the spring last year, and I said, well, I'm going to come over. And he said, well, let's get in the studio and we'll just play around. And, you know, I don't care if I make 1 cent. I don't think I'm Etta James or Christina Aguilera with my singing ability, but it's fun. I want people to dance. I want people to enjoy it. I'm glad you did.
It's a real record. I've worked in the music business for 100 years, as you can tell by looking at me, and
never.
It's a real record. It's a real record. So who produced it?
Lucian Piani is actually the producer. He does all of RuPaul's music.
Mm-hmm.
He scores movies and things in Los Angeles, and has become a really good friend of mine. And he did a kick-ass job. He really did.
So, did you find yourself surprised with yourself after you listened back?
Absolutely, because usually I just sing in my car when you play the music loud enough that you can sing along to it and you sound just like whoever you're trying to emulate at that moment with the song, or I sing in the shower where the acoustics are amazing. So when I got into a studio where you can't hide anything, I was very impressed with myself.
Yeah, I hate to forgive me for seeming so surprised. It's just, you know,
no, it's surprising. Believe me, I
lived through the Paris Hilton record, and I love Paris Hilton, but how you doing?
The stars are blind.
Yeah, and yeah, so her. Well, anyway, it was just such a nice treat, and it made me wonder: are you making a full record?
Well, I don't know. I wanted to see how the first song did, and it was #1 in Japan. It's moving up the dance charts in the U.S., and that's way more successful than I thought it would be. I thought 10 people would hear it, and 7 of them would make fun of me for singing, and the other 3 would just have already been my fans, so they'd be excited about it. But people are really, you know, love it or hate it. They're accepting it, and they're playing it and enjoying it, and that's all I wanted. So if there are more songs to come, so be it.
Well, and being the former dance guy at Billboard, where the record is starting to pop, I know what those DJs are like. They're nasty.
Yeah.
So if they're playing it, it means they like it.
I agree, and I mean, I don't have a label. I don't, you know, have the same budgets like a lot of the stars do that do put out an album like Paris Hilton had when she put out her album. I'm doing everything on my own, and the fact that it's playing all over the country and all over the world is very, very exciting. It's, you know, I paid for all the production costs and that sort of thing, but otherwise there's no budget. We just kind of are hoping and praying.
Well, good for you. Good for you. Johnny Weir with me here on Sirius XM OutQ. So he's actually not here to plug a record. He's here to talk about his book.
Well, we're plugging everything.
Well, because you're pluggy. You're plugtastic, right? The book is called Welcome to My World, and it's got probably the best cover I think I've ever seen, and I know you've heard that already. It's got the best cover. If y'all haven't seen it yet, it is Johnny on his back in the fiercest shoes I've ever seen.
Louboutins.
Of course.
Yeah.
One leg in the air as he balances a disco ball.
But you know what? Look at the bicep.
Well, yeah. But I'm more intrigued by the heel because...
See, I love the heel and the bicep. Those are the parts of the cover I like the most.
Well, it's the contrast, right? It's the femme and the butch.
Exactly.
It's really cool, and it's a neat book because it's relaxed. It's a nice, crisp, easy read. It feels like you wrote it.
I did write it.
This is a new experience for a guy like me to actually have someone in my studio who can sing, and he's made a record, and who wrote a book and actually did indeed write it. You're a little bit of an anomaly, Johnny.
Well, I don't like to do anything if I can't do it well. So if I had started to write a book and I hated the way it sounded or I hated what was going on with it, I would have stopped. Because I know my limitations. It's the same with the singing. I went in just to have fun and to sing a few lines and hear what it sounds like on a computer, and I thought I did well, so I made a whole song.
And so does that come from your athletic training, knowing how far you can push and when to stop?
Absolutely. I mean, With skating, it's such a different world from anything that anyone can really comprehend. It's very much it's very lonely. You work hard, you work long hours. It's a full-time job that you don't really get to invite a lot of people to be a part of, and you don't have help. You have a coach, and you have you. You have to be your own army, your own publicist, your own everything. And with that takes a lot of work, and to be strong and work hard, it's difficult. So through all of that, and constantly being judged and knocked down for whatever reason by skating judges or by press or anything like that, I've learned to be very hard and very strong and very, strong-minded and strong-willed. So it helps me on every project I do, the training that I have. But with these projects, I don't want people thinking I forget where I come from. I'm a figure skater first and foremost. I'm an athlete. And all the other projects are things that I like to do because I enjoy it.
And they're perks of the hard work.
Absolutely. And I mean, from the Olympics, I didn't win the gold medal, but I came out as one of the most popular athletes of the whole game.
You sure did.
And the amount of times that I've been congratulated on being the Olympic champion, I don't correct people because I feel like an Olympic champion. So
of course you are. Of course you are. Johnny Weir with me here on Sirius XM OutQ on Larry Flick. His book is called Welcome to My World. And for folks who have not had a chance to investigate this book, what was it about putting on skates that felt right to you?
It was just natural.
Yeah.
It was the same when people sing for the first time and everyone's blown away, but you don't really know you're singing well. I didn't know I was skating well. It took me a week to learn an axel, which usually it's a jump. It usually takes people 5 years to learn it. And I started to skate when I was older, too, so I really didn't realize that I had any chance or shot at being a figure skater. But I got on the ice in the cornfield behind my house. People told my parents to get me into a real class because they thought maybe I could do something because I could skate very well on a cornfield that had frozen over from a blizzard. And within 1 year, I was on the national figure skating team. Within 5 years, I was a junior world champion and an alternate for the Olympic Games in Salt Lake City. It was natural. There was no feeling. I just went.
You just went. It just natural aptitude.
Yes.
It's funny because reading the book, listening to the music, watching you in the media, you're very, very high volume.
Mm-hmm.
But my instincts tell me that you're not really. My instincts tell me that you were, at least in the beginning of your life, really shy.
I was terribly shy when I was young, and I'm still very shy. And my public image is the cover of my book. That's what people think of me because there is a small part of you that will always try to perform, especially as an artist and as a performer. I always perform. But at the same time, I'm not afraid of people. I don't get nervous when I meet celebrities. I don't get nervous to go on the radio and talk, and I'm not afraid to make a mistake. And that's something that gives me power and gives me strength, and if that gives me the image that I'm, a crazy diva, high-volume person, then so be it. I know who I am, and that's with the book cover and the actual story in the book. I wanted that contrast. I wanted the cover to be what everyone thinks of me, then read the story and see that I'm just a small-town kid that worked very hard for everything I've achieved.
And so, was part of the natural glide, for lack of a better word right now, into skating, was that because of the shyness? Was it because it was easier to explore your body and your will and all that you had inside yourself without other people around you?
I've always been an individual style person. When I was little, I didn't want to play soccer or football like the other kids. I wanted to ski because it was alone and individual. Then I got into horseback riding and then skating. I never was a team player. And figure skating offered me that moment to express myself to music. I grew up listening to classical music and Chopin and Tchaikovsky because being from a very small town, it was very isolated. And we didn't have the same pop culture as the cities nearby or the towns nearby. It was very Amish and very conservative. So if I heard pop music, it was probably from the 50s, 60s, or 70s. And, that it's a beautiful thing to be able to grow in a place where nothing is pushing down on you. You can form completely your own decisions about the world and what you like. And figure skating offered me that moment where I could completely be free, fly around the ice, skate to music, be artistic, and never be nervous about the ramifications of being too pretty or being too outrageous or avant-garde.
Did acceptance of your sexuality come as naturally as your athleticism?
Yes. I was 6 when I first realized that there was something a bit different about me. I didn't know that it was gay at the time. Obviously, you're 6. But I remember watching Pretty Woman and wanting to be Julia Roberts desperately. And as I grew up and started to realize that I was gay, 12, 11, when people started calling me F-word in school or whatever, I started to realize that, I didn't choose it. I've known this since I was 6, that something was different. I didn't choose to be different. I'm not making a spectacle of myself. I don't make a spectacle of the fact that I'm white or that I have a penis. So why would this thing, being gay, that I'm born with, why would I make a spectacle of it? So I used it to my advantage. I just said, you know what, it just makes you more rounded, you're very open to the world, it's a good thing, but don't rest on that. Don't rest on what you're born with, make yourself something. And that's been my acceptance of it, because I don't really think that much of it.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Johnny Weir with me here. I'm Larry Flick on Sirius XM OutQ, and the book, again, is called Welcome to My World. Is there ever any concern that the loud volume of your image will distract people from your skills? Because you are a remarkably skilled man.
Thank you. No, I'm never afraid of that, because people, no matter what, will think what they want about you. For example, this year going into the Olympics, I knew that my chances of winning a medal were very slim. And the U.S. Figure Skating Federation, who basically decides who gets to go to the Olympics for America, essentially said to me at our qualifying competition, we're looking at you to go, not because you're one of the best skaters, but because you have a reality television program and people will watch because you're on it. And there was nothing that was more depressing or more devastating to me, because first and foremost, I'm an athlete that works just as hard as anyone else, that is just as good, if not better, than everyone else. And it was completely disrespectful to me and what I do. But it's a double-edged sword. At the same time, where these people don't like me because of my reputation and my image, so many people have found strength through me, and every time I fall down and have to get up again, people find strength in that, and I can inspire some people and open minds. That's something that I've had to learn to accept, because I only want to win. I only want people to see that I'm good at things, and that I try hard and I work hard. And it's hard when your image does hurt that, but I've learned to accept it. I'm strong enough to deal with it.
You are like blowing me away 10 times over, I gotta tell you, because you're fun, you're interesting, and you're playful, and you are proof that just because you're a little high volume doesn't mean that there's other stuff. In order to be everywhere, in order to be this queen on the cover of this book,
yes,
you actually have to have something going on.
Exactly.
And so, right on to you.
Thank you.
Really, I mean, you're really. I'm sitting here kind of just taken aback, because I've always been a fan, but to sit here and talk to you and listen to you speak, and I just think, wow, incredible.
Thank you.
So thank you for taking time to talk with me today.
Well, thank you for taking your time to talk to me.
Johnny Weir's book is called Welcome to My World, and because I like it, because it's my show and nobody tells me what to do, we're going to listen to your single again.
Yay!
Why not, right?
Perfect.
This is Dirty Love by Johnny Weir.